Hi, my name's Kevin Nimick.
I'm Keith Hickey.
And I'm Duncan Chalmers.
We made a documentary called Aging Crescendo, which we hope you've just watched and we hope you've enjoyed. We wanted to talk a bit about some of our favorite parts and some of our struggles when we were making it and just sort of help you digest it further. First, we'll start out with Keith. What was your favorite part of making the documentary?
Making the documentary or my favorite part in the documentary?
I think making the documentary, and then we'll talk about your favorite part in the documentary.
Okay. Well, my favorite part when we were actually making it was the first time I sort of got to meet Ken. He is a very outspoken guy. It doesn't necessarily always come across in the documentary, but he's very funny. So my favorite part probably in the documentary itself is the few times we get to see him make jokes and stuff like that. It sort of brings a lot of life to the documentary that in other times could be seen as sort of not lighthearted, but it brings in a lot of character.
Like the last clip of our documentary where he makes a joke about his mom.
Yeah, I definitely think the ending is very strong.
Who played for the Montreal Canadiens, the Montreal Junior Canadiens, and the Russian national team? One player, my mom.
Duncan, how about you?
Well, my favorite part about making this documentary was it's weird because this was kind of stressing me out while I was doing it, but in hindsight, it was the actual being the producer and trying to come up with the story and talking to all the people and doing pre-interviews and stuff, because we originally intended to do something completely different, and then we finally stumbled across this idea, and it was just really interesting seeing how there was just this intertangled community of seniors playing music in Ottawa, and I just feel like it's something most people just wouldn't really know about, and I don't know if we necessarily, because it wasn't the focus of our documentary, so it doesn't necessarily get that well communicated in it, but there's just tons of people who play music for seniors and seniors that play music, and it's really interesting.
Right, and I completely agree that I think my favorite part in the whole process of physically making the documentary was the night that we went and filmed New Horizons band. And we started in the beginners band group that Ken's a part of, and then we moved to the intermediate group with some people who've been playing their instruments for a little bit longer, and it was fun to just see, all of these people, 65, 70, 80, 90, learning instruments for the first time, or learning instruments that they've kind of just started in the last couple of years, and the community of band, because for me, the way band existed in my head was high school, because that's my exposure to those sorts of instruments, right? Unless you're professional, you're in high school, and it was really interesting to see older folks into their retirement trying to learn something new.
For us, this documentary is the one that involved the most different elements. So we filmed at different locations, and just trying to assemble all of that and all of the music and make it sort of feel consistent was a challenge. But I think it's definitely well worth it, because it makes the documentary feel that much bigger and feel much more is going on, and makes it more engaging rather than just focusing on our first documentary is just one subject. There was 2 locations, but for the most part it was pretty easy. Where this, we had a sort of, we had to combine all these different elements, but in a way it was a benefit because it allows you to sort of take it in so many different ways.
And even mediums too, because our first documentary was strictly video.
Mm-hmm.
Our second documentary had a lot of photography involved in it, and this one was sort of, I think, our best combination of the two. I think it was our best use of video for what video is good at, and photography for what photography is good at, which is to say, to capture big moments, and video to capture contextualized moments.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the documentary that we've made in this class where we've kind of gone after the most personal issues. Aging, a family, there's a lot of dynamics there that really mean a lot to the people. So this is the one where we've kind of learned to spend time with our subjects, learn to really understand them as people and build up a certain trust with them before we ask them some of the more personal questions. So there's a certain challenge in that, because you do have to exercise your social skills. It shouldn't be hard necessarily, but it's something that you have to work on. And I think it's something that we did really well, to take time to have a tea with them before we film, or take time to eat the grilled cheese sandwich with them before we film, and then we have a rapport with them. We have jokes, and we have inside jokes. We have little things that we can chat about.
Yeah, I'd say we spent overall together with them over 2 hours over the course of the times that we were there of not filming.
Yeah.
And even the first time we met Kay in her house, we met Ken previously a couple times, but the first time we met Kay, before we filmed, I played a song with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
me, Ken, Kay, and their friend Barry.
Barry.
And we played a little ditty together.
Shout out to Barry.
Barry, I
Yeah.
believe, is brought up twice in the doc and never
Yeah.
showed. So I'm sorry if we have any pictures of Barry, we could splice it in right here, right now.
I think the thing is, Kevin, is that like journalism, just because it's all about like doing things very quickly and efficiently and meeting deadlines and
Yeah.
stuff, can be a very sort of like impersonal
Oh, yeah.
process. And I think like that is a benefit of like this documentary process, is that like we did get to spend time with, and it doesn't it's not necessarily like that you don't see in the final product,
Yeah.
but it is one of the pleasures of doing it. And I think it's important to do things that are just kind of like nice and like you were saying, like having that sort of like relationship with them does communicate itself in the final product in a sort of like a
Right. I would argue that you don't see it in the final project, but maybe you feel it.